Greetings and salutations, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at world religions. Now, we're not going to be looking at every religion that's ever existed. We're going to be taking a look at the religions that were born in the ancient and classical era, so basically everything before 500 Common Era, and more specific than that, the religions that are still around and practiced. So while some of our North Sea Nordic religions would have been functionally existing during this time, there is so few people practicing that we're not going to talk about it today. This is not meant to convert anyone. This is just meant to illustrate how different groups believe the world operates, how different groups answer the big unanswerable questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What happens when I die? So let's get started. Our oldest still living religion is Hinduism. It dates back to the Vedic age and India, and this is ancient as far as we go. The term Vedic age even refers to the Holy Scripture, the Vedas, which is a collection of stories and songs that are the tenets of Hinduism. Some of the major elements of Hinduism is a socially divided caste system. This caste you're born into is the caste you're going to die in. It's the caste you're going to marry into, or it's the caste you marry to, and the caste your children are born into. You cannot change your caste at all. There is nothing you can do while alive to change your caste. The thing you can do to change your caste and be in a different, better place, a different, better social level, is to live your best life possible. Follow the Dharma rules of the universe. Give good karma to your fellow man, then die. And you will be reincarnated. You will be born again in your next life as something better, as someone greater. If you live a great life, you might come back in your next life rich, maybe powerful, maybe in a higher caste. Conversely, if you're a very terrible person, then you will be reincarnated and maybe you'll have to be a dung beetle or a worm for a few lives to understand the importance of humanity. The ultimate hope of Hindus is to escape life, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth. And this process of breaking with this life, death, rebirth is called samsara, and you will achieve nirvana. You are one with the world's soul. You no longer have to live. You no longer have to struggle through life. You are at peace and total harmony. The catch is it's going to take a lot of dying to get here, and you have to die in the best possible caste, living the best possible life for even a chance to achieve samsara, escape from life, death, rebirth. So this can perpetuate a soul thousands of generations. Hindus believe in some things that can help connect from one life to the next and help align the chakras of a person. That might be yoga, that might be meditation. These are different elements that are meant to achieve the same goal. Our next religion we're going to look at is Buddhism. And Buddhism was started as a reaction to Hinduism by this young prince, Siddhartha Gautama. And he believed that all life was suffering. Now, Buddha himself, now that's a really grim outlook, all life is suffering, but this is a guy who had it all going for him. He was Hindu. He was born in a high caste. He was a prince. He lived in a palace. He was very wealthy, and he was married. He really wanted for nothing, but he was still not happy. And through observations and meditations, he came upon this concept that all of life is suffering, that all of suffering comes from want. And if you could remove yourself from want, you could achieve a state of harmony. If you lived the Four Noble Truths, if you lived good life, good lifestyle, good harmony, and good practice, then you could find yourself free from life, death, rebirth. You could free yourself from reincarnation and achieve nirvana in a single lifetime. This is the big difference between Hinduism and Buddhism. Hindus believe you are going to have to live, die, reincarnate hundreds to thousands of times before reaching nirvana. Buddhism says that if you live the best life possible now and follow those truths, you can achieve nirvana in a single lifetime. It's worth pointing out that Buddhism is both a religion and a philosophy at the same time. Now, Buddhists do believe in reincarnation, but they also believe that if you need a God to get you to nirvana, then believe in that God. Conversely, Buddhists believe that if that God is hindering your approach to nirvana, if believing in that God is keeping you from living your best life possible, then you must abandon faith in that God. Confucianism, okay, this is not a religion at all. This is a philosophy. But whenever we talk about Chinese history, Chinese philosophy, and Chinese culture and politics, we've got to understand this because it comes up a lot. The difference between a philosophy and a religion is, as a philosophy, Confucianism does not have a holy text. The father of Confucianism is not a god. He is not a messiah. He is not a demigod. He was a man in every way possible. Confucian philosophy says that the world is a crazy, conflicting, chaotic place, and only through duty, only through humanity, only through living for all of society can society itself get better. You must work to improve life. It's not going to get better just because you hope it gets better. Principle to this is the Confucian state exams. These were state exams that you would take in China, and they wax and wane in their importance in Chinese governments, but you take the exam, and these are ridiculously difficult exams. In some cases, you're taking the exam for several days. Once you're done with it, though, you have a good state job, a bureaucratic job. And this way, only the people who were skilled, talented, and understood how society would, could, should be run were actually the ones really running the day-to-day show. Taoism, also Taoism, created by Lao Tzu, another Chinese philosopher. This one is also a philosophy and stresses the idea that, like Confucianism, the world is a crazy, chaotic, mixed up place. The crazy, chaotic nature of the world means that if you fight that chaotic force, you will lose. There is no way to fight it. It's like fighting the wind. It's like fighting a hurricane. It is nature itself. You've got to go with it when you can. The symbol of Taoism is this, the yin yang, the idea that there is good in the universe and there's bad. There is good stuff in bad things and there's bad stuff in good things. It's all about the balance. Shinto is a Japanese religion, and it is one of the few religions we're going to talk about that is really indicative of just one location. Shinto is interesting because there's really a lack of dogma. There's no real holy place in that there's no center of the religion itself, no defined prayers, but there is the idea of the spirits of nature, that natural spirits exist that can help shape your life. And these are spirits like the wind and water, but not like a glass of water, like a body of water, and not like a god of all rivers, but here is the spirit of one specific river. Here is the spirit of one specific creek. There's the spirit of one specific tree. These spirits are all around and can influence your life in subtle ways to really big transformative ways. Keeping them on your side is important. And usually when you see a Shinto shrine, they're in the middle of the wilderness. It is not usually the kind of place that's in a downtown urban area. Our next religion is Judaism. It is a monotheistic religion, which is different from what we've talked about because there is only one God in this religion. There are prophets, and the Holy Scripture is the Torah. The foundational commandments would be seen as 10, unless you're an Orthodox Jew, in which case you've got over 600. Sometimes referred to as Hebrews, they have a promised land, an area that they believe is set aside from them by their God. The reaction to Judaism is, well, one of the big things about Judaism is they believe that at some point a Messiah will return to earth and save them, to rid them of troubles that have come upon. Now, Jews are still waiting for their Messiah to arrive. The reaction to this is Christianity, who believe that their Messiah has already shown up. And it started as, Christianity started as just a small, heavily persecuted cult born from within Judaism to finally become the largest religion in the world. Christians took some tenets from the Torah and the Talmud, and with their new scripture created the Christian Bible. And there we are. Our last religion is also the youngest religion, the second largest in the world, Islam. Islam takes elements from Judaism and Christianity with the local desert cults that existed in 7th century Saudi Arabia to create this religion. Muhammad would be the prophet of Allah. He was the one who would spread the faith. Their faith is defined by 5 distinct pillars: exclusive prayer, exclusive worship to Allah, prayer 5 times a day, fasting during the month of Ramadan, charity, and giving of alms. Now, their holy cities are going to be Mecca and Medina, but that is largely the major religions that we see in the world. Hope you learned something from this today. I'll see you next time.